If you're working on your to-do list for the new year, you probably have food, drinks, silverware. What about appetizers? Well, we've got you covered because today we're going to show you how to make a beautiful charcuterie board. Kim Davidson is joining us this morning. She has all of the tips and tricks to make this happen.
Oh, yes.
Look at what we have here. It is art at its finest. Thank you so much, Kim,
You're
for
welcome.
joining us this morning. Let's first talk about hospitality.
Yes.
How important is that when you're hosting or you're having guests over?
Yeah, I think anybody wants to feel welcome in your home, whether you're serving Chick-fil-A takeout or you're serving a charcuterie board. So gathering and having people at your home just makes them feel warm and welcome.
And we already feel warm and welcomed.
Now, some people feel overwhelmed when they think about putting boards like this together, present company included. Walk us through the process. I mean, this is a great little setup that you had. And I don't know if they can get the shot from above, but I mean, just what a beautiful layout that you have.
Well, first you want to start with something pretty. I mean, you can always just do a cutting board or a white plate, but my friend John makes these gorgeous boards, and I think that really sets the stage because it really is about presentation. A lot is in life. But I always get everything set. Some people say use 2 cheeses or 2 meats. I'm like, I want variety. I want variety in my outfits, and I want variety in my food. So I have on here, I have Gouda, aged Gouda. It goes with anything fruit or chocolate.
Right.
You have cheddar. I always want to have something attainable for most people because some people don't like crazy cheeses.
Right.
So they just have something everybody can eat. Then I have a brie. It's just a wedge of brie. You can get a round wheel of brie as well, which is some honey. Got some blackberry jalapeno jam because I like to bring in the spicy as well. So all of it you can do ahead of time because you want to be present with your guests. You don't want to have to stay in the kitchen and clean all the dishes. Well, you have no dishes to clean except a knife and a cutting board.
So how simple is that? I think it's important to note the display. Right now, there are multiple colors. It's not just one solid thing. You also have your garnish and you're bringing in the greenery. It's almost like you're decorating a home is kind of how I feel like when you're looking at this. Is that important too? You probably don't want all yellow cheeses and all of one thing.
You don't, and actually that's really hard because all of your pork products, like most, they're going to be red or purple-ish. So I try to bring in the oranges and the whites and the greenery. You definitely said like greenery is important. Make sure it's edible. I mean, that's an olive branch, so it's not poisonous. You don't want to poison anybody by decoration on your board. And then fresh fruit. Figs, which I couldn't find, but persimmons. I think persimmons are great for New Year's because they have a little star. So they just make it pretty. And you just cut them. Nobody wants to eat persimmons, but they're great for decoration. And then you always bring in chocolate because chocolate's important.
Always chocolate. And again, I love the fact, just like you said, you can make this as extravagant or as basic as you like.
Exactly.
Based on whoever's coming to your house.
Yep. But I've learned, I have 2 boys, 9 and 10. I may not be able to get them to eat like gourmet mac and cheese, but if I put something on a board, they will eat pepper this and salami this, and they wouldn't touch it if I didn't say, we're having charcuterie board for dinner. So even if you just have your family for New Year's, you don't have to skimp. You can always go elaborate for them too.
I like it. So when you're putting this together, where do you start first? What's the starting point? Because there's a lot going on.
Yes. You start with the cheeses. Okay. Those are your main base. So again, I have 3 cheeses. Okay. Usually at least want 2. I usually have 3 or 4. So start with your cheeses, place them out, and then I usually go with my dishes. You do want small little dishes to hold condiments. You can even use plastic things like here for pickles.
Right.
Any briny things, pickles, olives, you want contained because you don't want juice everywhere. And then just place things. The meat, this is a salami chain. Just kind of hook it together, fold it, hook it. Pretty easy. You can watch any of this on YouTube.
Sure, and you actually have some meat right here if you want to demonstrate one.
So this is a cappy, a hot capricola ham. So I folded it in half. I get all of my meats at Publix. And because I want everything fresh.
Right.
I don't want the packaged stuff that's been sitting there for days. So then you have a nice little rose, and you can just stick it places like that. And then you're filling in spaces. And that's just one piece of meat. So if people have a little plate, they can come get, and then they just pick it up. I mean, your board is not going to look pretty by the end of the night.
And I was going to bring that up because I don't know about other people, but sometimes I'm scared to death about going to one of these charcuterie boards because I'm going to touch something and the entire domino effect will happen, right? But that's okay.
It's okay.
See?
Because just like if you're serving people, you don't want to make something and nobody eat it. So you want the flavors to be attainable, and you want people by the end of the night for this to be gone. You just want your little dishes left with a sprig of rosemary.
So, okay, so to recap, what are the absolute must-haves you should have
Yes.
for charcuterie?
Cheese, meat, condiment. So cheeses, I always do something attainable. Cheddar. Brie is creamy. You want different types of cheeses. You want soft, hard, salty, sweet, spicy, whatever. Cheese, meat. You usually want 2 meats. I usually do a pepperoni. This is a hard pepperoni, just
Right.
like you would get on pizza. So it's just, I love it with cheddar. Cheddar, apple, pepperoni, great mix.
I've been eyeing the pepperoni.
I know. See, they're really ready to eat, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then you want condiments. So you want a jam, you want honey, you want fruit, you want crackers. I mean, it's really simple. You yeah.
And it's all healthy.
It seems
Sure.
simple.
No pork products. We were talking about that before the show. Pork products for breakfast.
Where can people go for more information on learning how to make a charcuterie board and everything we talked about today?
Sure. My Instagram is Kim Campbell Creative. So I post boards and post some of the things that I put on my boards. Or, I mean, a lot of stuff I've learned from other people who have gone before me and do it. So you just learn. And that's a great, if you want to do a New Year's resolution, I want to learn how to do this. Well,
Guess what?
you can do it.
Kim Campbell Creative, check that out for some great ideas for your charcuterie,
Yes.
especially right in time for New Year's.
Oh, yeah.
A lot
Kim,
of people
thanks
will be
so much
posting.
for joining us
You're
this
very
morning.
welcome. It's
Appreciate
been
it.
fun.